Hey guys, Cptn.Canuck here, and I think I'm gonna do something a little different today. So usually I cast games, be it tournament or pub games. I just find a game and I commentate on it, and that is that. But today I figured I figured I'd throw in something a little bit different. I think I just played a game, and the game went really well, but I felt like there were some shortcomings in my personal play, and that my team kind of picked up the slack on. And so I'm gonna do a self-analysis video. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump into this replay of this game that I just played here, and we're just gonna run through everything, step by step, and really break down what I did wrong and what I could have fixed. And obviously I'm gonna point out mistakes that were made elsewhere, but I'm going to try to be as fair and unbiased about this as possible. And the entire goal of this is just to kind of recognize things for next time. It's to become a better Dota player. I mean, this is a recurring theme in esports where a lot of people, think they're really good and don't really take the time to break down their play and their style and really get to know the game itself. They don't take the time to break themselves down and realize what they did right or what they did wrong. And so this plays in heavily to a lot of things. And I mean, you'll see things like the Day 9 Daily for StarCraft. Those help players get so much better. And it's just through self-analysis, through looking at your own things and recognizing what you can do. So starting right out from the beginning of this game is me in the draft. Actually, usually I don't take captain in captain's mode. I'll just let my team pick because, it's just easier. I can go get myself a sandwich. I can just chill out, whatever. I usually trust random people online, which can be a mistake, but, whatever. So I grabbed the captain role in this game because nobody else really wanted to. So starting off in the draft, I think I drafted pretty well this game overall. Right off the bat, I got rid of Bristleback and Timbersaw, just two obnoxious heroes that I just didn't want in the game. They just make everybody's life hell, and I haven't seen a Timbersaw do terribly in the last while. Now, this thing actually kind of bugged me a little bit, because I was actually spending a lot of time on this pick trying to decide what I really wanted to do with it, and, I was kind of teetering on the edge of what I wanted to do, and I just decided, hey, Crystal Maiden hasn't been picked, and she's a good pick, so I grabbed her. I really didn't have a game plan in mind at this point, which was admittedly a mistake. And you'll see a little bit later on in the game, it really comes into play the fact that we didn't have the exact team synergy that I really wished we did.
5 seconds
as the draft went on, I kind of established more of a style of play that I wanted to hit, and picked around that, which helped out, but I don't think the Crystal Maiden fit in this draft, and you'll see why in just a moment. But getting into the enemy team's 2 picks here, we'll start to see what their draft is shaping up like. Now, actually, right after I picked up the Crystal Maiden, I remember looking at the list of heroes, and I saw that Death Prophet was still available, and I was like, God damn it, why didn't I pick Death Prophet? And seeing them grab the Pugna, I was like, oh shit, they're gonna get Pugna and Death Prophet, we are fucked. Like, I was just convinced that we were screwed. And then they grabbed the Invoker, and I was like, okay, alright, so you know what, we're good. We'll grab the Death Prophet for ourselves. We'll have a little bit of counter push for the Pugna, so if they try to push, we'll be able to just knock them back just as hard. Crystal Maiden's still a great support, and, we can counterpick the Invoker. So, the Death Prophet works really well against the Invoker. So I was like, alright, we're good. I banned out Nature's Prophet instantly because Nature's Prophet is really pushy, which works with their lineup. He's got his summons, he, backdoors, annoying as hell. Plus, he works wonders because Sprout Sunstrike is almost a guaranteed kill every time. So I got rid of the Prophet right away. I said, I don't want to deal with that. They got rid of Visage. I think that was just kind of a meta ban. They just didn't want to see a Visage. And
5
then who
seconds
did I ban here? Actually, well, I guess we'll see in a moment here. I think I actually spent quite a while on this ban deciding on what I wanted to get rid of. I was actually consulting my teammates, asking, what the hell do you think I should ban? Because I have no clue here. Actually, it doesn't show up in the chat. But yeah, I can't even remember what I banned. Oh. Yeah, I have no clue who I banned here, actually. Yeah, I was pretty confused. I was pretty unsure as to what I was going to be doing, because it seemed like Pugna would be in a tri-lane, and the Invoker would be mid, and there really wasn't anything that really made a lot of sense. So I just got rid of the Slark, because Slark's a pretty strong pick right now, and he's just kind of annoying. So I just got rid of that. And now, the stage of the draft. I'm looking at a team that I was looking for a team that wanted to push when I grabbed that Death Prophet, because I thought, you know what, they grabbed the Pugna, and the best way to counter push is to counter push. And so, you know, I just went with the Death Prophet, and I had the Crystal Maiden there, which doesn't really fit in a push lineup. This is why I was regretting that pick right off the bat. I was like, yeah, she's strong, but she doesn't fit with what I want to do. And so instantly it looks like my draft is kind of muddled, which may have actually worked in my favor, because the enemy team's like, you know, what the hell are you doing, bro? But
Dire team pick.
you know, like I said, it kind of worked against me. I actually would have preferred to have another support in place of that Crystal Maiden, something like a Shadow Shaman, or yeah, it's like a Shadow Shaman, maybe a Jungling Enigma. I actually asked my team right off the bat if anybody knew how to play Chen, because I was really thinking Chen, and everybody was like, LOL, no, fuck off. And so we didn't grab Chen, but I would have loved to grab like a Chen or Enchantress. If I was on a pro team and I had Aki on my team, or like frickin' Puppy or somebody, I would have picked a Chen right off the bat and then gone into the Death Prophet. But that wasn't how it worked out. Now they grabbed the Clockwork, and so instantly I'm looking at a lot of heroes that are really obnoxious to play against. The Invoker and the Clockwork, just kind of two heroes that just get up in your face and just kind of fuck with you, right? They're just obnoxious. And so I'm thinking, all right, well, how do we do this? Because we still want to push, and we want really strong lanes to push these guys out. So I grabbed the Venomancer right off the bat, because, you know, I said, we need a stronger support, grab the Venomancer. So I got the Venomancer, and now that I'm looking at Venomancer CM, I'm looking at my carry pickup, and I'm like, well, what do I do with this, right? And they go the Nyx, and I'm like, oh, fuck, just annoying heroes everywhere, right? Like, this is just obnoxious. It's like a half pushy lineup, and then just half, like, gank you and make your life miserable lineup. So I was kind of unsure of their draft. The Venomancer was also kind of a counter pick to Clockwork, because if you get hooked as Venomancer, your ulti has no cooldown, or no cast time. So you just jam your ultimate, you make him take like 3/4 of his health and damage, and then you walk away, and hopefully your team can clean it up. But that was kind of the idea behind that pick, as well as the fact that it helps counter push and push. So I picked that up, and now that I'm looking at this, I just go, okay, we got Crystal Maiden, we got Venomancer as our supports. What carries work well with that? Well, Luna works well because she catches up, she has a lot of damage, and Lucent Beam helps stack on top of the damage that's already there. Juggernaut, as well, he works really friggin' well because he just gets infinite spins whenever the hell he wants. And so I'm looking at the Juggernaut, and I do pick him up here. So I grab the Juggernaut, and I say, hell, you know, he's a good carry, he's got a lot of magic resist, which will help immensely against this team. If he gets cogged in, he can just Omni Slash, you know, he's immune to Invoker, he's immune to Pugna, he's usually immune to Nyx, because if Nyx breaks his stealth with his attack, then he just spins away from the stun. So I figured Juggernaut, good pick. So I grabbed him, and I'm actually starting to get really happy with this draft here. But it's not as pushy as I'd like it to be. The Juggernaut ward helps out a lot, but, I mean, and Venomancer and Death Prophet are kind of pushy, but the Crystal Maiden still doesn't feel like she fits. Like I said, I think an ideal pick would have been the Shadow Shaman here. He would have had the Serpent wards, he would have had the Shackles to hold down anybody, and if Invoker or Pugna got annoying later, he could just turn them into a frog. So, really I think I'm really feeling the Shadow Shaman in hindsight. So that was something I could have done better right off the bat in the draft. Now Weaver gets taken out by them. They're fearing the Weaver offlane, and I wasn't going to pick Weaver in the offlane anyways, because Clockwork is pretty damn good against Weaver. If he doesn't shit on him, then they just trade evenly. So I wasn't going to pick Weaver, but I was trying to think what could work in the offlane that would contribute to this push strategy. There was a couple things that were coming to mind. I was thinking Lone Druid, I was thinking Nature's Prophet, but I had already banned that out, so I didn't really have that available to me. I was also thinking Beastmaster. I was asking my team, does anybody feel confident on Beastmaster? Because, you know, he would have worked out well. He gives us some more control for the team fights. He gives us, you know, axes for damage, and he gives the Boar and the Scout Hawk, which help push and help scout out, and so I was feeling that. I got rid of the Shadow Demon because I felt Shadow Demon into Nyx Stun into Pugna Blast is just too much. But they pick up the Rubik, which you'll see was actually a really good pick on their part. They, you know, I hadn't quite considered the Rubik pickup, but it works really well for them. Man, I talk too much and I start to get yawny. But, anyways, getting to this last pickup here, I'm still debating what I want to do for this last pick, and I was making sure I was really deliberate with my time, because there's a lot of options that I was looking at. I was looking at the Clinks as well, because Clinks is really good, but I feared he would get wrecked by the Pugna Ward, because Straight Fear would just get him destroyed. As well, the Clockwork can cog him in, and he doesn't really have an escape, and as well, I mean, he can't really hunt down too many members of their team. Like, I mean, he could pick some people off, but I think between Decrepify, Ghostwalk, Cogs, etc., they would just be able to escape from him. So I was teetering on the edge of it because he's still a really good hero with our lineup. But in the end, I just said, you know what? No, Clink's not it. And I ended up going for a Marana pickup here. So, see the Marana, I figured, you know what? It gives us some teamfight versatility. It works well in the offlane against these stuns because Nyx no longer has a point targeted stun, so I can leap away. You know, the offlane Marana will work really well, and then we'll have the ulti for team fights, which will help out a bunch. And none of these heroes are really a specialty of mine. I play Venomancer occasionally, and I play Marana occasionally, and I ended up going on the Marana because why the hell not? So, anyways, now as this game kicks off, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. I just wanted to get the draft analysis underway, but let's just speed things up and get out to the laning phase, because nothing quite interesting happens here. So I'm going to watch myself. And I'm just down here checking the room. Fair enough.
Begins.
Alright. So, our game's begun. Our team has placed an aggressive ward on the tri-lane, so we are ready to get kills. We got Frostbite, we'll have Gale here in a second, and we've got Blade Fury. So, this is just a perfect setup for a tri-lane. I really like our tri-lane. I'm happy with it. Like I said, even though I'm iffy about the Crystal Maiden, I think it'll still work. So anyways. They go in on the Clockwork right off the bat, and you know, this is a dangerous ass tri-lane. Like I said, like Rubik and the Nyx Assassin. Like, yeah, I was really ready. I was like hovering over that E key, waiting for that. But yeah, like I said, that Nyx Rubik Pugna, if they caught me at all, I was so friggin' dead. Like, Impale into Levitate or into Telekinesis into Nether Blast, and I would have been toast. So you can see me, I'm playing really far back, and I think that was actually pretty smart of me. I was staying way away from where I needed to be. Well, like I didn't need to be there because I would have died. But yeah, like I'm staying further back, and I'm just trying to grab the XP by coming up here. Like I can't come up the lane because they'll see it, so I'm just walking into the side, and you can see I've grabbed myself a creep or two of XP, which worked out well for me. Actually, I'm just going to pause this replay and slow down my camera because I do not have my camera slowed down to a casting pace. Alright, cool. A little more floaty now, looks a little better. So anyways, laning phase goes pretty damn well. However, we'll see in a couple moments here, we'll speed this up to 2x, that, you know, as I'm sticking around in this offlane, I'm doing okay. Like, I'm pretty bad on CS. If we look at our last hits, I'm like the worst in the game right now, but like I said, I mean, I have to be really wary about these supports, because Rubik gets up in my face, I gotta leap away from him. Him and I trade back and forth a little bit here, and I've got sustain, he doesn't, so figured, you know, why not make that trade? And now that the creeps are back in my tower, I'm able to get a little bit more, a few more creeps. I mean, the Clockwork is actually still has 0 creeps because my team's controlling that lane really well. But now is where this gets really intense. Like, these guys are jumping up really far, and you can see their positioning here. They're like, they moved up all the way to here, almost to my tier 2 tower, and in an effort to just kind of shove me away. Meanwhile, Pugna's nether blasting the tower. We have less than 3 minutes, 500 damage done to my tower. Oh shit, what do we do? So, this is where things got a little iffy for me. Like, you know what, there's no way I'm gonna stay in this lane. Like, you know, I can only do so much in the offlane. Like, I can leap away from them, I can survive, but, you know, I'm not gonna be able to resist it. So about at this point, I had told my team, I said, guys, make sure that you have teleports ready, because I'm gonna be so fucked if these guys come under this tower again. And so this was about the time that I was saying it. So you can see Crystal Maiden. She's going to run over here. Actually, you probably want to see what's going to happen to me. So anyways, I get tossed down, and I leap away instantly, which dodges the stun, and I'm fine. I pull the creep wave back, so I'm actually okay there. But the Crystal Maiden, being the baller sauce that she is, walks over to the side shop, grabs herself a TP scroll, and the haste rune comes down. I land a gorgeous arrow. I'm giving myself compliments. That was fantastic. And we get first blood. So communication with the team, just saying, you know what, these guys are aggressive as fuck, help me out. that landed us first blood, and it helped out a ton. And you'll see in a moment it helps out once more. So, I mean, communicating with my team was a huge strength in this game. This is something I did really well. I talked to them the entire game, and even though not a single other person was using voice chat, I felt like I was just, you know, coordinating things really well and making sure that I was letting it be known what I needed. So, anyways, we'll accelerate the game a little bit more here. Jump up to 4x, and once again they come up and try to grab me here. Actually, is there a... Actually, I'm gonna check and see if there's a hotkey, because this will help me out so much. I should have checked this beforehand, but let's see. Spectator controls, is there increase replay speed, equals and minus. Okay, so those work. Is there a pause? Is there a pause? Pause. Okay, there's not pause. However, that works for me. Okay, so we should never have to go slower than real time, anyways. So anyways, these guys continue to work on their tri-lane. Like I said, their goal in this tri-lane was just to, you know, zone me out and then push down the tower. And that was exactly what they tried to do. Like, they were getting it off. Like I said, less than 3 minutes, half of the tower's health gone. It was absurd. So anyways, speed this back up, and here comes the play again. So now I pull the creep wave back this time, so I do a lot better. They get another TK, I get a leap away. Fine. They start pushing the tower. But once again, I've told my team, you know, these guys are being really friggin' aggressive, get your TPs ready. So I managed to thwart that one wave of creeps, but you'll see my team's ready already. So so now Death Prophet comes down with an Invis Rune, and I do miss an arrow, but these guys, I don't know if they knew that Death Prophet was there. Like, they just turned around and went on me.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Felt I played that one really well. Like, I was aggressive when I could afford to be, and Death Prophet helped us out a bunch. I could have avoided that stun, but, you know, little things. Anyways, things progress. I'm doing pretty good on the offlane. I'm 2-0-0, and even though I'm sitting pretty shitty on CS, I'm starting to get myself a little bit more safety, and they're starting to think twice about diving underneath this tower because they know my team is ready for it. So, anyways, I have the courier bring me some consumables, and he actually brought me more than I had item slots worth, so I just had him drop the healing salve back here. But, anyways, here we go. We've got my team moving in from the side, and I know it too, so I move up. I'm positioning myself for this, trying to actually bait out spells, because if my team comes in from behind and spells are gone, it works out really well. So anyway, this fight goes down, and we kind of coordinated this really poorly. Like, Death Prophet ate a lot of damage between that Sunstrike and the ward, and, you know, once again, I actually felt like I was communicating really well with my team, because at that moment, when Death Prophet was really low, she was down to about 100 HP, I was like screaming into my mic. I was like, "Don't cast the spell! Don't cast the spell!" Because, you know, that ward was there and it would kill her. Anyways, my mouse is just... Oh, has my mouse just died? I don't know. I think the game might have just froze. Is that what's going on here? What the friggity frack? Oh, no. No, my mouse definitely just froze. I gotta unplug it and plug it back in. My mouse does this occasionally. Apologies. I don't know what it is. It's a wired mouse, but there are times when it just kind of dies. It just stops working, and like I have to unplug it and plug it back in. It is a really awkward issue. But anyways, it is back. So right here, like I said, as the Death Prophet was like really low, I was like, "Stop casting spells! You will kill yourself." And she did. We killed the ward, and we came out of that engagement. You know, couple scratches, a little bit of wear and tear, but no harm, no foul. So anyways, our team is up 3-0, or 3-1 at this point, and we're feeling good. I went and grabbed that healing salve that I dropped down there, healed up, so I'm still in good standing for this offlane. Death Prophet's going to return to mid. She's already got herself 2 assists and has been moving around the map a lot. Invoker's got a little bit more experience because he went for that Midas, but you know, he hasn't made the map presence that he's needed to. Now, like I said, their team doesn't really have a true carry. Their entire goal was to just knock down racks and play this game out. So, anyways, we're getting a little further into this game here, and I'm kind of like I said, I'm staying really far back because I'm really worried about somebody coming out from this area and just destroying us, or destroying me. And so, you know, I get back under the tower. They're not pushing too hard again. I mean, Nether Blast goes down, but that's about it. And after this cannon minion, or after this siege creep, does all of its damage to the tower, it is in deny range. So they did not push hard enough that one time, which allowed us to get the tower. So all of that pressure down on the bottom lane, they lost 2 kills to the offlaner, and they allowed the tower to get denied. So I felt I played the laning phase really well in this game. If I could have done something better, it would have just been to, you know, just kind of get in position a little better for some of the abilities. Because if you'll see, there were a couple times where I did get TK'd, and I didn't get the Nyx follow-up because Leap is overpowered, but you know, it felt really good to get that. But like I said, I wish I would never have gotten TK'd in the first place. Played it back a little further. Now, this one was a bit of a blunder on my part as well. My team comes in, and they're actually doing work in the mid lane. There's a big fight that goes down, and you'll see as this fight continues that it pretty much extends for a long time. We've got TPs in from their team. This fight is going on over here. Benny Hill team playing. Blah, 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 blah. Anyways, kills are being had, and this entire time I'm farming on the bottom lane. Now, I popped my ultimate because I was like, you know, team needs to survive, they need to do what they can, and, you know, I think it actually helped them out to have that ulti there, but I just, you know, I didn't quite think they needed me because I didn't think it was going to be that big an engagement at the beginning. Like I said, like a couple seconds ago, that fight was just like a skirmish between Crystal Maiden and Invoker, and so I let them fight it on their own. And thankfully my team was good enough to make something of it, and they did really well in that fight, and they came out ahead. But I think if I had TP'd to mid and really made something of that fight, I think we would have gotten away with even more kills. But anyways, like I said, this fight is still going. Like, this is still the remnants of that big team fight that I was fast-forwarding through. So now I finally decided, like, you know what, it's been so long, I've been down on that bottom lane, I should not be farming, I should be helping them. So I finally TP up, and I get right up there, I jump forward, I throw a spear, and it doesn't actually catch anybody, but I burst down the Nyx, and I do get the kill there. So I feel I could have jumped into that a lot earlier. I had the TPs, I had the abilities, I had the cooldowns, I had everything I needed to. You know, I just didn't think my team needed to support at that time. I was just like, yeah, whatever, you know, I'll just get the farm up because I had a hard time in the offlane. So probably wasn't played the best by me, but
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
We did come out on top because, like I said, I had a really good team this game, and I feel they carried me through a good portion of this game. Like I felt I contributed, but you know, I wasn't exactly the defining factor at some point. So, anyways, we get into this tier 1 tower. Death Prophet pops off her ultimate, and I actually landed a decent arrow there, but couldn't really follow up on it, so I back off. Now, the tower is pretty close to dying, but Cold Snap goes out on that Venomancer, and I try to get right in this Invoker's face. I'm like, you know what, if you want to take Venomancer, you're going to take the damage for it. But I had to be really careful about my positioning because all I had was pound. I had nothing more. And, you know, I did the same thing here with Crystal Maiden. She was getting beat on, so I got right up in Nyx's face, started attacking him, and it resulted in a kill because they were kind of ignoring me throughout this entire fight. As I said, the entire fight, they just kind of let me go about my business. But anyway, Juggernaut comes in from behind, managing to pick himself up a kill on Rubik and Pugnus, so he does really well. And this one, oh my god, okay, I need to rewind this, like just... Oh, geez, that was a little bit too far. Okay, we'll jack the speed up just a little bit, and I will show you my comparison here. Now, okay, we're getting this going, blah blah blah, Nyx dies, and then, Sunstrike Death Prophet's coming back in. And we make this fight happen, Juggernaut comes in, blah 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 blah, kills Pugnus. Now right here, right friggin' here. Wait, get a pot. Go forward. I saw this. I saw Clockwork looking for it. My camera was positioned exactly like this. I saw Clockwork, and I thought in my head, I was like, gotta dodge this hook. He's gonna hook. He's gonna hook. And I'm sitting here, and I'm thinking that, and I'm thinking that, and I'm thinking that, and then I got hooked. And I was like, fuck, like, god damn, like, that felt so bad. And, like, I knew it was coming. It just didn't happen. So I definitely should have been more cognizant in that moment. I should have been, like I said, I knew it was coming. I just didn't act fast enough, and I need to get my reaction speed up or something like that, because it was pretty obvious. Like you saw that Clockwork, he was walking up and looking for it. Like it wasn't like I was a split second out of nowhere hook. It was just kind of poor play on my part. So that was my first death. So I didn't feel too bad about that. I decided to go straight for a Yasha to get my move speed up, and you know this is a problem I have with Mirana a lot of times. I don't quite know what the right item build is on her. Like, I like to go for that Manta style, but a lot of times it just feels like it's not enough at certain points in the game. So I was thinking about going to Fusel, because then I could pop, like Forge Spirits with it or something. Like, I just didn't know what I was going to buy. I was considering it all game long. And so we decided we were going to gank with my ultimate here. And I called my team over, like I said, communicating with my team really well this game. I was like, you know what, guys, let's do this. This Mirana ulti, let's jump over here. But it looks like they were ready for it. And they had a sentry down to see it as we were coming in. And so we killed a couple of Forge Spirits. And that was my comment there. I was like, oh, guys, we killed Forge Spirits. Good. My team was like, yeah, whatever. And so, I mean, it was kind of a wasted ulti. I wish we had coordinated that better. I had a couple more wards up to spot that out, but, I mean, nothing you can really do there. It was just, you know, it was just bad luck. We didn't catch him in the right position, and they were playing really defensively. So, anyways, backing up here. Let's speed this up a little bit. I'm waiting here because I knew they were going to push up, and I wanted to get an arrow, and I threw it out, and I ended up hitting the Forge Spirit because those things are so damn annoying. The Juggernaut kind of went in on his own and got himself caught out, and I made the mistake of leaping in here. This was my fault. I leapt into the clockwork to try to do some damage, and all he had to do was cog, and I was dead, and it felt really bad. But Venomancer, this is kind of a bad TP. He couldn't really do anyways. I think if he had kept running, popped his ultimate, popped his mech, well, he'd have got away from that, but it would have been really close. So we took a pretty sloppy fight there. Like I said, I leapt into the fight, and I need to not do that. That was a huge mistake, and you'll see it recurring throughout this game. I actually called myself on it partway through. I was like, you know what, I gotta stop leaping in, because I'm getting myself fucked every single time I try. So anyways, getting going. I TP into this tier 2 because I know they're pushing it, and I just want to make sure that it can't go all the way. And it looks like they've left, so walk up, farm myself up some creeps. I'm starting to do a little bit better on the CS. Like I said, Invoker and Pugna are still out CSing the majority of our team. However, Venomancer's got himself some CS as he's counter-pushing some of these hard pushes, and I'm doing alright for myself. For how zoned out I was in the bottom lane, I don't feel I was doing too bad for creep score right now, but I definitely could be doing better. And I mean, like, this camp right here, like, I should have just stolen that from Venomancer. He didn't really need those creeps, but anyways, we see him get jumped on here, and I think my map awareness was really good at this instant. I was running down to the bottom lane, and I heard Nick, or right there, I was looking for somewhere to go, and I saw Veno in trouble, so I ran right after him. And he actually turned on the Nyx, which was a really good call on his part. So I came around here, tried to cut him off by throwing an arrow, and actually, did I hit this arrow? No, I just left straight forward and just jumped right on him, and that was it. So Crystalman playing well there too as well, had that same map awareness. However, that meant that our mid-tier tower dropped, and tier 1 tower dropped. And I kind of think I should have stayed around, but we did get a kill out of it, and I did drop. I kind of actually forgot what happened in that instance, but I think it definitely would have been more beneficial to stick around on that tower than try to chase down the Nyx. Nyx got away and we defended that tower and probably would have been better. But we did get a decent fight off. Invoker walks away in his ghost form like a giant pussy, and actually, let me buy up a stack of dust here in just a second, because I realize that cannot happen again. So, anyways. We got pressure here now on the tier 2, and things are looking a little better for us. You know, we've got a 5 kill advantage, and we're just down 1 tower, but we've got pressure on it on the tier 2. So our team does back off here because the entire enemy team is about to come up, and we don't have any creeps or wards or anything. So we do back it up here. Anyways, I come back into mid lane. I've got a sack of dust ready for this Invoker, and it looks like our next fight is going to go a little bit better. And, oh my god, I never saw that. Holy shit, Venomancer got lucky. What a guy. Anyways, our Jug did go for a Battle Fury, which I'm not sure I agree with. Jug Battle Fury is always fine, but considering the immense push we were up against, I probably would have liked to see something a little more early gamey, either quick Sanjay Yasha or even an Aghanims or something, just so that he can kind of blow people up in these early fights, which are pretty much guaranteed to happen. So like I said, I got myself a Yasha. I'm still doing pretty poorly on the creep score though. This is something that I struggled with all game long, and you'll see it coming into play a little bit later. But anyways, I'm going to accelerate things just so that we're not sitting here watching the entirety of this game. But anyways, just scooting myself around, trying to come down to this fight. Now this is a really, really bad fight. Actually, I'm actually going to rewind so we can look at that, because that was a miserable fight that should not have been taken. So anyways, Juggernaut, Death Prophet down here. They're just doing Juggernaut and Death Prophet things, pushing out waves, whatever. I don't think DP had any intentions of pushing this tier 1 tower because all of them were missing and, you know, she's a little far up. So she gets the siege creep and I think she goes to back out. Yeah, she sees the TP and she gets out. You know, Juggernaut is sitting here waiting for a kill and I was actually warning him away. I was like, dude, you guys got to be careful. There are 5 missing. Like, we don't see a single one of them. I said, you guys got to be careful. And I started moving down towards them just in case the enemy team started pushing in. But Juggernaut finds himself trapped. He gets levitated up, or TK'd, and he just goes for the Omni Slash, and Death Prophet goes in to try to help him. This was a huge mistake. And I threw the arrow, and I landed a good arrow, and I was like, hey, I walk in, and I actually left out, but I got caught. And, you know, it was just not a wise decision to go into that fight. Once I saw those two that low, I should have just said focus. And oh my god, he bought Necro 3 all at once? What the fuck? He was so rich. Oh my god, okay, I never realized that. Anyways. So, they get into the tier 2 tower. There is no way in hell we're defending this. It is gone, though, and we let it be. So, this is another thing. Rubik getting that exorcism. Oh my god, what a nightmare. It is so hard to fight against that, like, especially with their team. And so you'll start to see this. We do spawn in time, and we've got the Death Prophet, we've got the Juggernaut, but they knock down the tower so fast. Look at this, Necro 3, fucking Nether Blast, and they're just going for it. So, I'm up now, I pop my ultimate, and we're ready to fight. We get in here, things are looking good, and I get up along the side. I'm looking for an arrow, but I just can't find it. There's Necro Creeps, there's Forge Spirits, so I just walk right into the middle of things, and I Starfall, and I'm looking to see if I can get something done. Pop off the dust in case Invoker Ghost Walk, and all this time I'm eating damage from these Forge Spirits. And I really couldn't get away from them, like I was trying to walk away, but my attempt to get away from them ended up with me escaping into their entire team, which got me caught. So I thought I had more people with me because my team was walking up here, and I still don't quite know what happened to them. They just kind of died with something, and so yeah, I just read the entire scenario wrong. What I should have done was, when I thought I was getting poked down by those Forge Spirits, I should have just said, fuck it, I need to get out, I can't fight this, turned around, left back into the base, and just gotten out. Instead, I panicked, I hit my leap button, flew forward into their entire team, and died. So, we lost the tier 3 tower, but we didn't lose racks, so we're still in okay standings. We're still up in kills. I think if we look at the gold graph, we are still... Okay, no, so they got a huge advantage off those couple towers, understandably so, and they got an EXP advantage from that last fight. But nothing unwinnable. Like I said, we're still up in kills, and our team is doing alright. Like I said, we've got okay farm, not the best. Invoker's still topping out that CS chart, and I'm still struggling to find CS. When I mentioned that before, when I said I was struggling to find creeps, I meant it, because I have 38, and when I said that before, I was at 36. So I landed a good arrow there, can't really follow it up. I walked forward to see if I could get a Starfall, but it wasn't happening. So anyways, Exorcism goes down. Now this time, I waited on the leap. Actually, I didn't have anything to use anyways, but I backed off out of that. And, I mean, with the Puck Award and the amount of mana I had, I was pretty much screwed. This one, Invoker in the game, walk away from the expected path. Like, I'm waiting for that Sunstrike, and he never thought to invoke it, but I was so scared about that Sunstrike. So, anyway, pushing into tier 3, we fortified, we've got 4 up, and I popped my ultimate because Juggernaut looked like he was going in, and I wanted him to be safe.
Bottom barracks are under attack.
The Invoker, being a giant friggin' douchebag, jumps in here and goes on it. So, I leap forward, I jump on him, I throw an arrow, I miss it. Just sloppy play in general, I mean. That's not something I'm going to adjust for next time. It's like, don't miss your arrow next time. It's like, yeah, okay, you can do that. But anyways, they escape. They got the Pugna Ward set up, and they're waiting for us, so we had to disengage that. Unfortunately, they even up the kills, and they get themselves their set of rounds. So, what do? We're fine. Rubik gets his arrow, but good Omni Slash there by Jug. He picks off a free kill, and then in the midst of the fight, played Furious away. So he actually played that really well. I like this Jug a lot. He was actually a really solid player. And so now we're set up here. We've got our ward up. We've got the team ready to defend. We've got the Death Prophet getting rid of the creeps. And, you know, we're in a little bit more of a solid position. We were kind of scattered before, but things not so much so now. Anyway, so now we go looking for kills because we know they're going up to the tier 2. So I throw out an arrow, and we find the Nyx, and we auto attack him. The dust goes up, but we're just not in the position to defend it. They're falling back, so we grab ourselves a free ward, and then just posture up for the next fight. Once again, pretty sloppy play on a couple parts of mine, but, I mean, look at this. Still, 39 CS. I still haven't gotten any, and like I said, actually I was thinking to myself at this point, Venomancer probably has more than me, and rightfully so. So, you know, I said I'm going to take every fucking opportunity I can to get farm now, because I've spent so much time contributing to fights and trying to be around the push that my farm has suffered severely. All I've got is the Yasha and Phase Boots at 23 minutes into this game. I should have a full finished Manta Bite, but I don't. So, now we're hitting up this fight. I'm kind of under itemed. I'm not really under leveled. I mean, I'm a couple levels behind, but anyways. So this one right here, I'm chunking down this Necro Creep as fast as I can because nobody seems to want to, and so I just said, fuck it, I'll take it. We've got this healing ward down. We've got to get rid of that thing. So we get rid of it, but that puts me at low health for this fight. I think I should have left that for Juggernaut to take care of with his Blade Dance or something like that. And you'll see, I have to play a lot more squeamish in this fight. We do catch a good arrow on the Invoker, and I popped off my ultimate. I'm like, we're going. You know, I got a good ability, but I have to be back right away because otherwise I'm screwed. And our team's going here, but they've got so much healing power between the fact that they've got their mech, they've got their Force Staff. Juggernaut comes in and cleans things up though, and I was dropped really low. I was forced out of this fight, and you know, there wasn't much I could do besides turn around and throw arrows, which I should have been doing, but we did clean up 4 of their heroes for just the Crystal Maiden, and the Impale finally grabs that Venom, so 4-2 right now, and Nick's dropping really low. I did turn around to throw an arrow for him, which I think probably would have hit, but I was basically beelining it back to base to take care of this creep wave because I didn't want our towers dropping. That was the last thing I wanted in this game. So, anyways, like I said, my farm still suffers. Still 43 TS above only the Clockwork, Rubik, Nyx, and Crystal Maiden, and I'm just struggling to find farm. And this was where I feel my team was really carrying me, because in that fight, like I said, I landed an arrow, I popped my ultimate, and then I leapt away, and I didn't do shit for the rest of the fight. That was all my team, and they did really
Radiant's
well.
middle tower and Radiant structures
I did what I could, but I got no health, I've got no stats, I've got nothing. I'm a squishy ass Murano with less than 900 health. Our Venomancer actually has more health than I do at this point in the game, so things are not feeling good for me, and I'm coming down here trying to get the CS, and like I said, Venomancer just doing what he does. He's pushing out the wave, but it also means that I'm not getting the creep kills I need. So I'm like up here trying to get this, and I walk up and I was like, oh yes, finally I got some gold, got some to my name. It's coming in slowly but surely. And you'll see I'm starting to get a lot more greedy with my play. You know, before I was like telling Juggernaut, I was like, take every single wave, and you know, Death Prophet, like she's doing this shit all game too. She's walking up just crypt swarming the entire wave, and I can't get anything right. Like I was getting so frustrated. I've only got 51 CS, and you know, like I said, things not feeling good for me at this point. You know, I felt I was playing good, but my early game was hampered so much, and my abilities were just and like I just wasn't. I didn't have the items to contribute at this point, and so you know I was playing good with what I had, but I hadn't set myself up for success earlier in the game. So. Anyways, I'm trying to steal whatever CS I can, and our team's feeling a little bit more confident now. Jug's got a Sanji Yasha, he's got himself a Battle Fury. He did not choose to go for an Aghanims this game at all, so not as much fighting power. Now here, we saw 2 of them up on the top lane, and we knew they were going to get this tier 2 tower. It was so low, we couldn't defend it, you know, we didn't have Fortify. Actually, we did have Fortify, but yeah, there was just no defending. So I just called this right here. I just said, guys, let's go Roshan. We'll trade to Roshan for the tier 1, tier 2 tower. There's no way we're going to defend it. Might as well grab ourselves some extra stats and make sure that the next team fight goes our way for sure. So I felt pretty good about that call. I think that was the smart move to make. Like I said, these Forge Spirits already got this tower. There's nothing we can hold here. I mean, Benno goes up to defend it. This was maybe a mistake. He does fall to the Sunstrike, but we do all TP back right after getting that Roshan, and we dive right into a fight here. And we're going on this, and I actually ate a 5-second arrow after saying this guy is back up, Rubik has arrow. But anyways, here I got Clockwork Hook, had to leap out, so I didn't do. I mean, I executed that pretty okay, but my positioning was rather poor. Anyways, we get into this fight. Rubik dies, and so does Venomancer, but Juggernaut is still hanging around the back. He's still waiting for his next battle, or his Blade Fury. But now we're starting to get caught out here. Death Prophet drops, and I've got nothing. I've got no mana, I've got no positioning. I'm just trying to stay alive, and I actually started to go back to base, and I hesitated, but you know, I said I gotta go back to base. Anyways, Juggernaut spins himself through that fight, and I didn't think he actually got the Aegis there. Like, I thought he got caught out here, and just popped his Aegis and spun back, so I thought we were down the Aegis as well, so I was like, oh, fuck, things not looking good. But, we got out of that with a couple kills. Our entire team is now up. I'm back up, and I've got some gold in my pocket, which is good. And the Juggernaut still has the Aegis. So, you know, I'm still thinking we're in fighting position here. I was actually saying to my team here, I was encouraging them, I was like, you know what guys, we still got this. As long as Juggernaut gets a little bit more gold and we keep him alive, you know, we'll be able to out-carry them. Because they still don't have a true carry on their team. They've got Pugna and Invoker, and that's all of their damage. The rest is just control from the Clockwork and the Nyx and the Rubik. So, you know, at this point in the game, our team's starting to feel a little better. We're 24 and 28, and both teams kind of teetering on the edge of not sure what's going to happen. But up here, I just like farm up the top lane mercilessly, grab myself an ultimate orb, and I can't remember why I was hit. Oh yeah, because I wanted to get my items. There wasn't really anywhere else that I felt safe on the map, or jungle was farmed up, and I didn't want to go any further in the lane, so just headed back to base to grab my items, and I felt I needed them. So, anyways, Death Prophet this entire time, like I said, she was farming up creeps like crazy, knocking out every single creep wave that comes her way, and she's got herself a Black King Bar now. So, the hits in the CS total that I took were not completely for granted. I mean, it meant that Venomancer got a quick mech. It meant that Death Prophet got a quick Black King Bar and Bloodstone, and it meant that Juggernaut now has money in his pocket to carry us to the late game. So my sacrifices were definitely not in vain. However, I still felt like I was like, you know, underperforming a bit, and like little things like this. Like, I mean, Juggernaut's just taking all this farm, and I really wanted some of it, but you know, I gotta let him have it. So, you know, I stole a couple, but like I said, still hanging down here below our Venomancer in the creep total, and it just wasn't working for me. So, anyways, I've still got that dust on me for the Invoker, just in case, and you know, I think I played that pretty smart. I do have 5 deaths to my name at this point, and a lot of those were because of my sloppy plays or, you know, unwise choices as to what engagements I'm going to take. Anyways, let's speed things up a bit, because things are kind of bland right now. Both teams kind of just teetering on the edge. They got their ass kicked in a couple team fights, and so now they're scared to approach us. But we're not confident that we can push against them, so we're not moving out. We're just kind of farming. I'm actually surprised that Nyx didn't pop out. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he vendetta struck the Nyx, or the Veno, and then he impaled me for some reason. Like, he just missed it that bad. But anyways, Juggernaut gets himself an Omni Slash, and right now we're feeling, alright, now we've got the moment. We've got the Aegis, we've got one of their heroes down, and I think we can start to push now. We've got some gold. I think if we look at the graphs, it'll start to be... Oh yeah, okay, it's not completely back in our favor, but it's a little bit closer. EXP is in our favor now. We've taken some good team fights, so you know, things starting to look a lot better for us. Now, we're getting into this tier 2, and this is where we realize how fucking hard it is to push against this team. Like, we've got no creeps, and we're fighting backdoor protection, admittedly. But, I mean, we have no creeps because they just wiped it out. And a Meteor Deafening Blast combo comes out, I just barely dodged that. That was just me getting lucky. Arrow flies out, don't manage to catch anybody, but now we've got creeps to the tower, and we're looking for it. But even then, I mean, the Nether Blast, they're fighting us back, they clear a creep wave, just so obnoxious, and they actually managed to kill off the Juggernaut, wasting his Aegis there. And this fight broke out, and I really didn't want this fight to happen. I was like, that's not smart, this is not smart. And you'll see me just kind of teetering on the edge here, and oh, that's what happened to that arrow. Couldn't figure out what happened. I hit it into his Nyx. Makes more sense. But anyways, yeah, you'll see me, like, I'm teetering on the edge of this area right now, because I'm telling my team, we gotta disengage, we can't fight this, is not smart, this is not smart, this is not smart, what are we doing? And so our team finally starts to Juggernaut TP's out, Crystal Maiden and Death Prophet are on the run in different directions. I leap down to the low ground and start to TP away, and yeah, I didn't manage to get picked off there, but they jump in on the Death Prophet, who is beefy as hell, but is not going to be able to get out of that one alive. She gets caught out. So Death Prophet drops, and probably the best person on our team to die at this point, because she's got the shortest respawn timer because of that Bloodstone. So she'll be up in time to defend the next fight, and the rest of us got out okay. So it was a decent retreat, and in the midst of that fight, I got enough gold for my mana style. So I'm starting to feel a little bit more confident. I still have really shitty CS, 32 minutes in, and I've got 68 creeps. Like, it's pretty embarrassing. You know, they throw an arrow, it whiffed. They were going in a lot quicker than I thought I was. But anyways, Clockwork jumps out here, so I just pop the Manta and I start feeding on him. And he was really low, but I mean, they got so much control and so much in-your-faceness that I really had nothing to do here. I'm trying to contribute what I can, but I got no mana. I've only got one arrow left to throw, and I can't really do it. So I throw out my arrow. It doesn't latch onto anything, and I mean, I follow up, but I've got nothing but auto attack at this point. Like, it's pretty pointless for me to even be there. They finish off. Like I said, my team kind of carried me through this part of the game. They got a lot of kills. They did. You know, they performed really damn well. Like I said, as I feel like I was performing well with what I had, but I was sacrificing a lot to make sure that my team had what they needed, and it, you know, it worked out in the end. But it, you know, it just kind of made my personal performance feel like it was lacking because I wasn't making a big impact. I was just kind of making space, which, I mean, it sounds cliche. It makes space, but you know, it's kind of how I felt about this game. Juggernaut almost sitting on a butterfly, and now I see that my team's pushing. The other lanes are pushed out, so I decided to join them. I've got a little bit more mana and health now. Then I've got my ultimate orb for the mana style, and Invoker jumps in from behind and gets a quick kill on that Venno. Now I just jump up and I start chasing him down, and I try to cut him off here, and he ghost walks, and I'm like, no motherfucker, and I pop off that dust. And I like this arrow here. This made me really happy because I predicted this. I mean, pretty obvious line where he's going to be running, but I threw it there and I caught him with it. It made me really happy. I got that kill. So we traded an Invoker for a Venno. Things feeling good. And now we're pushing into this tier 3 tower. We've got the entire team here ready to go. But once again, I mean, this team is so damn hard to push in the game. Look at that. Nether Blast and Fade Bolt. And the entire creep wave's gone. We got nothing to push with, right? We're just in an abysmal state right now. So we're backing up. Roshan respawning in a minute, and things just kind of looking sketchy for us. I jump into the trees here because I didn't want the Clockwork to hook me. That would have been really unfortunate, but I get out. Anyways, speed this game back up a little bit and see where it leads us. So, anyways, my team consistently checking Roshan. We want to make sure that we're ready for it. You see us ducking in and out of this a lot here. Juggernaut constantly checking it, and you know, I'm just trying to get whatever farm I can. And I actually liked how I played this as well. I backed up and just kind of pulled the camp off to the side so that if there was somebody coming in from this area, because I saw these two up here earlier, they were in the lane, so if they were coming in from here, it would be a lot safer for me to be back here than it would be for me to be up here. So you know, I felt good about that. Now, like I said, I'm getting greedy now. The support's trying to farm up the wave, and I said, fuck you, Starfall. Took all those creeps, and you know, feeling a little better. 79, I'm still below the Venomancer because he's been holding back waves all game long with his wards. But, you know, just not happy with my CS this game. I could have had a lot more, I think. Actually, I don't know. I was zoned out so hard in lane, it's hard to say that I could just find more. But, you know, it doesn't matter. So I throw an arrow into Roche, scout that out, and we did spot their Forge Spirits with that. So we knew they were in this vicinity, and right now I was like pinging Death Robber, like, fuck out, but she pops her ultimate, and we're coming in from behind, so we're like, alright, let's do this. I popped off my ultimate, and Juggernaut manages to find himself a kill with his ultimate. We're going in, and, you know, I popped off my Manta and just got all my illusions exploded right off the bat. There really wasn't anything for me to do. I'm almost out of health, and, you know, we had one kill at the end of that. The disengagement comes out, and they're forced away. So, you know, we got a decent trade out of that, and Roshan is now ours for the taking. And I'm telling my team right now, I'm like, go, go, go. They wasted all their spells. They've got nothing right now. I mean, Pugnant doesn't have his ward up for a while. Clockwork will have whatever, but Invoker, you know, I'm like, we've got this. 4v5. We've got all of our spells up. I think we can do this. Anyways, we saw Nyx up here. He did something, and Clockwork missed his hook, and I was like, okay, definitely, this is our Roche, they can't do anything. Tornado gets thrown out anyways. I tried to throw an arrow, but he's so fast with the Wex that it was hard to predict where he was going. And so we catch ourselves a Roche. So I made this call, and I felt confident about that. I was, you know what, this is good. We're in a good position now. Our team's starting to catch up. Juggernaut finally eclipsing Invoker in terms of CS. Now has himself a Butterfly, a fat amount of kills, and an Aegis. So we are sitting in a really good position. And like I said, I mean, at this point I was like, fuck yeah, guys. You know, we've got gold on the Juggernaut. This is what we've wanted all game long. Things are looking good for us. You know, let's just abuse this advantage, and we'll go with it, right? So we gather the team up. We've only got a couple of us here. As the others were pushing back the Mega Creeps in the other lane. But Juggernaut and I realized that was not as good an idea. So I decided I'm going to go for a Desolator. And I'm not entirely sure why I decided on Desolator. I just figured, it's a good Marana item. It just makes me do more damage. And hindsight, I think actually a Necro Bow probably would have been my best choice here because, my supports weren't grabbing them. We're going for that Necro, and I'm kind of basically in a support role as this game is already. Now you'll see this is an interesting pickup here. Now I realized that I hadn't gotten a magic wand this game, and I realized at this point that would have been a really fucking good idea, just because of how long these fights drag out. Invoker uses so many spells, Pugna throws out so many Nether Wards, Rubik uses so many spells, Nyx is just spelling all over the place. It seemed like such a good idea to have, especially considering what a shitty health and mana pool I have. So I actually bought a magic wand at 30 minutes, or 39 minutes. Like, that Prophet got herself caught out there. Not a good choice. But I was just kind of looking at the items. I was like, what can I get that will just keep me alive in these fights? Let me sustain a fight. Because every single fight you've seen this game, I get caught out, and I take a chunk of damage, and I escape with Leap or Manta or something. I get out by the skin of my teeth, and then I've got nothing left to contribute. I throw an arrow or something, that's it. And so I figured, just get a magic wand, and then the longer these fights go, the better I can stay in them. And it actually pays off in a huge fucking way. I'm actually really happy with what I did there. I don't know if it was like, I think a pro player probably would have laughed at me, been like, dude, what the fuck, why didn't you have that to begin with? But in hindsight, I'm like, dude, this, I should have had that from the beginning, but getting it late is better than never getting it. So anyways, big fight comes in here. Exorcism was stolen, so we're losing this tower. We fortify for it, but the fight's going down, the meteor drops, and I popped off my ultimate to try to get a fight out of here, but I mean, like I said, I moved up here, I got caught out by a couple abilities, and I'm super fucking low. But I start chucking away at this Clockwork because he got himself caught out. He eats one of my arrows, and now watch. I'm in the middle of this fight, and I only have that much health because of those magic wand charges. Now I did die there, but I bought back instantly because we need to make sure this fight goes our way. Absolutely. And they do manage to pick off the Invoker, so I got back and there was really nothing for me to do. So kind of an unnecessary buyback. I should have waited a little bit on that, but I kind of... The way I am with buybacks, I usually don't like to wait for them. If I have a hunch that I'll need it, I just pop it right away so that it's on cooldown as quick as possible. Because the faster buyback is on cooldown, the faster I can use it again, and just, that's my thought process. So anyways, we're moving towards mid. They've got 2 heroes up. Invoker buys back. Well, what do we do? I made the call, and I just said, fuck it. Let's just keep going. We'll see what they got. They can throw out their spells, and we'll just try to chunk this down and beat them up. So, Meatball and definitely last combo did a good number on us, and I took a chunk of damage from that. Actually, I really like that. Nyx threw up his Spike Carapace, and I managed to support it off just in time. But Rubik buys back, and suddenly it's like a 4v5, and we're losing the heroes left and right. Crystal Maiden almost died, but she gets herself out. And we're juggling the damage really well. And I'm kind of, like I said, once again, I'm just dancing on the edge of this team fight. And here's where that magic wand comes in again. I got no mana, I got no health, and there we go. Pop it off. Now I'm fighting fit again. So it actually helped out so much. Like that one burst of health and mana was worth the $500 or the 500 gold that I spent. Anyways, the arrow lands onto our Juggernaut. He's not in a good way right now. He gets cogged in. He just fights his way out. Fuck it. And I mean, this Juggernaut is beastly right now. He just bought himself a Heart of Tarrasque sitting in his friggin' stash. So things are starting to look way friggin' better. We got ourselves a set of racks, and the enemy team is starting to get to the point where they just can't fight us. I mean, we've got a Marana, we've got a Juggernaut, we've got a Death Prophet. They've got a Pugna Invoker. So, like I said, I think this comes back to my draft where, I recognize what heroes we could grab that would benefit us early, but still carry us into late, in which their draft was more aimed at just going early. And so I had a much more versatile draft, and I think I had better heroes for the... I wouldn't say I have better heroes for the push game. Their push game was a lot better, which is why they got those racks at 20 minutes or whatever it was. But it still felt like this this kind of hold them off and push draft worked really well in the end. So
Dire's middle tower is
they're basically starting to get dismantled. They're having sad times. We got another set of racks, and I mean, you guys are probably already looking. Beno gets himself caught out. I don't think he gets out of this one. Yeah, he's toast. But I mean, I think you guys are probably already looking up here at this clock. Game only lasts for another 5 minutes, but we'll see which team it lasts in favor of. Anyways, myself, like I said, still struggling to find gold. I am still behind the Venomancer on CS, just crossing the 100 mark at, actually not even crossed the 100 mark at 44 minutes. And I'm trying to get a Desolator, but I got no fucking money. I got no way to do anything, and so I'm like I said, I was feeling pretty bad, but at the same time, I felt like I was playing well with what I had. So, anyways, let's speed this up, get to more footage of me in action. Anyways, so I pop off my outfit, we get in another huge team fight here. I actually landed a really good arrow on Invoker. That one felt really good. And anyways, we get into this, and they just can't stand up to us. They're trying to fight us, but it just doesn't happen. My Manta Illusions chasing down that Nick. They do get the kill. I got a double kill there, so I'm feeling a little bit better. Got some gold in my pocket. That's enough for my Desolator. Actually, almost. It's really close. But yeah, so, and I mean, they lose a big team fight. And that one came down to kind of draft. I mean, there is no way that their lineup at 45 minutes is going to beat our lineup at 45 minutes. Never in hell. And once again, like I said, I felt like played good with what I had, but just things not working out. Yeah, Juggernaut finds himself an on slash, gets the Pugna. 4 down, 45 minutes in, no buybacks available, and we've got pushing power. Like I said, I grabbed my Desolator here, and that will just show up on the match history. That won't really contribute too much. But I mean, Juggernaut, complete beast mode. This player is actually really cool. I played with him in a game before this as well. Like, we ended up in 2 games in a row together, and you know, he was just really fantastic. And I think that Masters guy on Venomancer, I played with him as well. And both of these guys just played fantastically. They communicated what they needed to, and you know, they're really intelligent about everything they did. And so, like I said, I feel like my team carried me through the mid game, where I was admittedly low because I sacrificed a lot of my farm to the supports and the heroes that could actually clear waves better than myself. Like I said, we were facing a lot of pressure, and it meant that I wasn't going to be able to get the room that I needed for. And so, like I said, I think I played well what I needed to, but just wasn't quite what I wanted it to be. I didn't get to ball out of control. I didn't get to go 9-0, or like, you know, 19-0 and 15. It just didn't work out for me. I actually died here because I just need a full Invoker combo, but yeah, like so we'll watch this game play out at the end here. Juggernaut just running away. He's got a heart to ask. He's gonna heal up in just a matter of seconds. Nick's still hunting him, but fucking he ain't gonna get nothing done.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And let's speed things up a little. So anyways, they're fighting off mega creeps. I mean, I think we all know how that goes. Juggernaut goes to check Roche, it comes up, he checks it again, fights it off himself, and I thought he was going to buy a Rapier there for a second, but he does end up turning that into a missile blade. I was pretty worried that he was going to throw this entire game for us, but anyways. We come back in, team groups up, we walk in with the Mega Creeps, and I mean, I'm pretty sure you all know how this story goes. Actually, no, you don't know how this story goes, because this giant Nyx douche fuck tries to kill me, and I'm like, oh bro, get the fuck away from me. I'll leap away, get mech'd up.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, so, I think, overall, self-analysis of this game, you know, I think I pointed out some good flaws, some problems. You know, I was leaping into a lot of early fights where I was overconfident, and that resulted in a lot of deaths, and as well, I just didn't find the farm that I needed. I didn't take it where I could have. I didn't hit the last hits as the creeps were coming into the lane, and it resulted in my gold getting severely hampered. At the end of that all, I had 385 gold per minute, and our Venomancer actually had less because he was part of less fights, but my GPM could have been a lot higher, and I mean, I ended up with some decent items at the end, and I contributed to the fights, but I really feel that our team as a whole was what won us that game. All of us communicating well, working together, and hitting those big objectives. Like I said, trading that tier 2 for Roche, you know, choosing when we could take the fights and getting the pickoffs where we needed to. That was the key to our victory, instead of the direct impact of 1 or 2 heroes. Like I said, Juggernaut took off, but a lot of that was because we told Juggernaut, we were like, dude, You just got to farm. We will create the space. And there were a couple fights where Juggernaut wasn't present, where he came in at the last moment, and the rest of the time he was farming. So, I mean, we created space for the Juggernaut so that he could carry us in the late game, and he performed really well. Venomancer holding off the lanes really well. Death Prophet doing the exact same, farming herself up so that she was really beefy in those mid-game fights. And then Crystal Maiden just doing her Crystal Maiden-y support stuff, helped us out a ton. So, overall, key points, don't leap into fights, get yourself more gold, and, just play safe in team fights. Maybe reevaluate item choices as well, because I think Manta into Deso was not the correct build choice for that game in particular, but, I'm not a very seasoned Mirana player, so I don't know what in particular you buy on her, so that's something I'll have to look at. But that's the end of my self-analysis. It might have dragged on a little bit, but thank you guys for tuning in and taking a look at the insight into how to kind of break down a game. I'll hopefully do more of these in the future, and you guys can get an idea of how this works, because I've done a lot of work in just looking at my own play, and by no means is my MMR professional. I'm not a professional player. I'm not even professional tiered. However, there's a lot of things that I've learned from previous games, such as StarCraft, such as what was the other example I was going to think of? Oh yeah, Command and Conquer. StarCraft and Command and Conquer taught me a lot in the fact that you got to look at your replays, you got to analyze what you did wrong, what you can do better, and then the next time things will just go amazingly better. So, if you guys like this video, please let me know down in the comments below so that I can keep doing them, because I actually like analyzing my own play. It helps me feel more confident as a player, and if they help you guys realize, what steps you have to take to break down your own play, to, analyze what you did wrong, or even just pick up tips from my own play, let me know, because I would love to, kick that off and make this a regular thing. So thank you guys once again for watching. Check me out on Twitch TV at Cptn.Canuck Dota for broadcasts of the Amateur Dota 2 League on Tuesdays and Thursdays, as well as the Amateur Dota League, yes it is separate, on Saturdays. And then you can follow me on Twitter at Cptn.Canuck Dota. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys again next time.